In business news today, 3 things to know. First, the energy economy. The economy continues to pick up steam, and the U.S. and global markets remain steady despite the turmoil in Ukraine. But the big question is, how long will it last? Then, NSA overhaul. The White House unveils its plan to end bulk data collection by the National Security Agency, and why the president's program will keep records with phone companies. And the power of the yummies, folks. Why global retailers say luxury brands find young urban males most attractive, and not the ones behind me. AriseXchnage starts right now. Hello, I'm Julian Phillips, in for Andrew Schmertzy Schmertz. Today's economic data report released by the Commerce Department shows Americans spent more in February, but the increase was modest. U.S. consumer spending rose 0.3% last month after gaining 0.2% in January. The report also showed that after-tax income was up 0.3% in February, the same as January. And a second report by Thomson Reuters and the University of Michigan shows a dip in U.S. consumer sentiment this month. That's interesting. So, while there are indicators that the economy is regaining strength after unusually bad weather, growth this quarter remains sluggish, and households have felt this impact. Well, more on this in a moment, but first let's see how the markets did today. The Dow closing at 16,323, the S&P 500 closing at 1858, and the Nasdaq ended the day at 4156. Now here's a look at the stocks we are watching today. Amazon says it has no plans to offer a free streaming media service. The largest online retailer says Amazon runs ads ahead of movie and game trailers, but again, the company has no plans to offer a free streaming media service at this time. Amazon closing down to $338.09. Good news for iPhone lovers. Apple will release the iPhone 6 in September. That's according to a report in the Nikkei Asian Review. Nikkei says the iPhone will come in 2 screen sizes, 4.7-inch and 5.5-inch. Apple closing down to $536.87. Struggling smartphone maker BlackBerry reported a fourth quarter net loss of $423 million, bringing the total loss for the company's fiscal year to $5.9 billion. Well, despite the loss, analysts say the company is poised to make a comeback in the future. BlackBerry closing down at $8.41. Now, the commodities, gold closing at $1,293 an ounce, and oil closing at $101.61 a barrel. Well, with more on the economy, we now turn to Jack Albin, BMO Private Bank Chief Investment Officer. Well, welcome to the show, Jack.
Thanks, Julian.
Okay, we talked about consumer spending up. It's not by much, but I guess the thing that concerns me about a lot of businesses might be in trouble because of this weather. Even in my town, we have a lot of businesses, and folks are saying they may not make it past this winter. What do you say to that?
Yeah, I would say that most businesses do have the financial strength to power through a winter, even if it is the polar vortex winter. And this coming to you from the epicenter of the polar vortex here in Chicago. But, that said, I don't know how much of it is built in, how much of it is an excuse. I will say that analysts looking at first quarter earnings results knocked their forecast down to around 1.7% for the quarter year over year, and that's down from nearly 6% when we started the quarter. So we'll see. I don't know. Expectations are pretty low, and companies are delivering on those low expectations.
I don't know if that's good news or not. Well, the Feds now are ending up their quantitative easing program, but they're changing that with foreign guidance and replacing it. Explain what that means.
Sure. Forward guidance is essentially a way for the Federal Reserve to tell business owners, I've got your back. I'm going to keep your financing rate set where it is as long as nominal GDP, for example, stays below 5%. Generally, nominal GDP is a good proxy for revenue growth. And so if I'm considering building a hotel or making an investment, I should have revenues of 4 or 5%. My financing cost is fixed. And if I believe the Fed and they hold to their word, then I should be able to make some money.
Yeah, let's hope so. I want to go overseas right now. Of course, you know, Jack, that the major news is what's going on in Ukraine and Russia, what's happening with NATO, and so on and so forth. How might that affect our economy? A lot of people are very concerned about what's going on over there.
Sure. I'm not sure, Julian, that necessarily the conflict in Ukraine or Crimea will directly affect our economy. It certainly has the impact, the potential impact on Europe, Russia's largest trading partner. But I will say it is a geopolitical risk, one that's not necessarily put to bed after the annexation of Crimea. One main concern that I have is that Crimea relies on the Ukraine for something like 90% of its utilities when you're looking at, water and gas and electric. And so I don't know if Putin believes that there's a vulnerability there that he has to somehow step in front of. I'm not sure. But that, to me, is really the next area of concern.
Well, yeah, of course it is, especially for natural resources and fossil fuels. I've got to ask you this question. Perhaps, I just say perhaps, if we got involved more with fracking, and of course this pipeline that's very controversial, perhaps our allies could have relied more on the U.S. and not have to turn to Russia if the United States was involved more in resourcing our own natural resources. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, yeah. No, I do think it's a possibility. There's no question about it. We are in the process of looking at reverse engineering our liquid natural gas import facilities to make them export facilities. But even there, and in fact, I think a couple of them have already been approved. But even there, we're looking at, at least 5 years to really get something in production. So I do think that help is on the way eventually. And it actually would be a boon to our U.S. natural gas economy.
Okay, well, we'll keep a look on that. Jack Ablin, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Coming up, when it rains, it pours for General Motors, and a big change is coming to the NSA if the White House has its way. You're watching Arise Exchange.
Because we live in a global, interconnected world, business news no longer stops when the markets close on Wall Street. And what we've discovered over the past few years of the financial crisis is that events and news that happen even in the smallest countries impact the United States and the world at large. As we bring together experts and analysts and thought leaders and CEOs and companies across many industries to not only provide the macroeconomic view, but news everyday people can use.
Welcome back to Arise Exchange. More troubling news for General Motors. U.S. automakers saying today it has told its dealers to stop selling certain Chevrolet Cruze small cars, offering no explanation as to why. Now, this is yet another blow to the company already facing a crisis over defective ignition switches linked to at least 12 deaths. Well, the car coach Lauren Fix joins us now with the latest details. Lauren, welcome again to Arise Exchange.
Thank you, Julian. Yeah, this is a big shock for a lot of dealers. Thursday night, they received an email from corporate offices in Detroit saying, stop selling the Chevy Cruze with the 1.4-liter EcoTech. That's a turbocharged engine. That affects about 20,000 vehicles that are out on lots right now. That's not a lot, but you know what? I think that GM is very concerned with what's going on here, and April 1st is a big day because Mary Barra is going to go in front of the congressional hearing, and they want to start showing that we are transparent. When we even think there might be a problem, we're going to put a stop sale on, or when they haven't said anything why, we're going to put out a recall.
Right, well, she's somewhat of a tempest in the teapot. She comes in here taking over GM, and then she has this to face. I guess the question is for her, how does she deal with this, and how does GM deal with this in terms of dollars and cents? This is certainly not good PR news for them.
No, it isn't good PR news. It's not needed, but I think they could turn it around and use it as good PR news by saying, we're right in front of what's going on now. We have Jeff Boyer, who's our safety chief. He's watching what's going on. In addition, today there were 700 Cadillac ELRs that were recalled.
Right.
For a 20-minute software fix, it's not a big deal. It's for electronic stability control. But the key was to show that they're in front of the problem rather than letting it go and waffle around for another 10 years and impacting consumers and unfortunately causing some deaths.
All right, look quickly, you don't have much time left. And the other car we're talking about here is Tesla, and they're having a lot of problems. I guess the question is, how much will this hurt them? And more importantly, are electric cars really selling that much?
No, they're only about 1.3% of the current sales in the United States, which is not a lot. Of course, the current administration would like to see millions of cars sold, but consumers don't want them because of what they call range anxiety. You plug them in, it's like your cell phone. You're always running around looking for an outlet. You can charge your phone quickly. You cannot charge a car quickly. And Tesla has been fighting this problem. They had some fires. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration told them to put a titanium shield underneath. But I think they also need to be looking at the batteries that Tesla's using versus what other manufacturers are using, because the lithium-ion batteries that they use have cobalt in it.
Right.
And that is highly explosive, or in this case can cause a fire, which is probably a more accurate way to describe it to consumers. And so these are things that we need to be watching for, because as technology changes, it's going to impact people.
Lauren, we've run out of time here. I also wanted to talk about Fisher. That was a much heralded car, but I think they're on the rocks right now. But look, we can talk about that. I know you're going to come back. Lauren Fix, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jillian.
Okay. Now time for our business ticker. Walmart is suing credit card company Visa for over $5 billion for conspiring with banks to hike the rates merchants pay to accept Visa. Walmart filed suit in Arkansas, where Visa is based, alleging some of the largest banks in the country agreed to illegally fix and inflate network fees. These charges come after Walmart dropped out of an earlier settlement of a similar antitrust suit involving Visa as well as MasterCard. Well, the nation's ever-growing trillion-dollar student loan debt continues to saddle some 37 million Americans. The 40% of U.S. households with student loans pay thousands monthly to loan collectors, an expense many of their wealthier peers forgo entirely. Each payment is hundreds of dollars that doesn't go towards retirement or qualifying for a mortgage. Now, experts say the disparity contributes to the widening gap between the rich and the poor over time. Well, yesterday's teens across the country found out whether they would spend 4 years at the Ivy League college of their choice in an otherwise particularly selective year. Harvard University actually accepted more applicants than last year. Meanwhile, Princeton, UPenn, and Cornell all recorded their most selective admissions ever. Harvard also saw a decline in total applicants, which meant a smaller pool to choose from.
My name is Ronald McDonald.
You're who?
I am Ronald McDonald.
I'm Ronald McDonald Jr., and this is Ronald McDonald III.
My name is Ronald McDonald.
If Ronald McDonald has convinced you to go to Taco Bell for breakfast, the fast food chain with his last name wants to bring you back with free coffee. Taco Bell caused a commotion after it launched an ad stringing together dozens of real-life Ronald McDonalds raving about their new breakfast menu. McDonald's, a fast food chain whose mascot is also Ronald McDonald, and that's the clown, is offering you a free cup of coffee for the next 2 weeks during the breakfast hours. At the same time, a few Ronald McDonalds said you should check out Taco Bell. Quiero Taco Bell. Well, the White House has unveiled a 5-point plan to end the National Security Agency's once secret bulk phone data collection program, preserving what it says is a balance between the intelligence community's national security needs and the public's desire to maintain its privacy. Under the plan, the government would have access to the records only under approval from the secret Foreign Intelligence Service Court based on a national security concern. Security and technology expert Dr. Tamara Combs joins us now with more. Welcome.
Thank you.
You know, I've got to ask about this. Explain the changes here to this. Apparently, from what we understand now, that they're going to have the phone records basically to the companies as opposed with the government. Is that correct?
The major change that we see here is that the government will no longer hold bulk data, but they will have to request information about a specific phone number given a specific threat.
The public, you know, will never win this fight. You know, some people say that Edward Snowden perhaps may be a hero. Of course, he's not to the government and many people. But the bottom line is, and you tell me if I'm wrong on this, Doctor, that if they make changes here, there may be things we'll never know. They're still going to find out what they need to find out from us no matter what happens. That's my feeling. What is yours?
That is true, because they don't have to get approval to get information about certain phone numbers, or if they feel like there's a threat, they can just go ahead and get that information. One of the things that the White House is proposing is that, yes, they can go and get the information that they need, but we will have some type of judicial oversight. There will be a judge overseeing the overall program, including individual inquiries into the database. So, you know, we'll know some things, but we don't have to be contacted if the government wants to get our phone records.
I've got to ask you, In your opinion, what the NSA has done, what they've been charged with, and all the things that we understand now. Of course, some of our allies are concerned about, what they've done. Of course, Angela Merkel, a few others here. Do you think that all these measures that they put in place to so-called safeguard our security, have they really made a difference in your mind?
The truth of the matter is there have been no real specific things that we can point to that putting these plans in place have helped us with. So there's been no major security threat unveiled through the collection of this phone data, which is one of the reasons why Obama felt okay saying maybe we can go ahead and end this. And, he had his team come back with some proposals, and this was one that he thought was a workable solution.
Absolutely. And of course, today, March 28th, is the day that the old plan expires. Right. And apparently this new plan has come into fruition now. Basically, outside of what we've outlined here, is there anything else in this plan that you say that's so different that might change things and maybe ease the mind of consumers and people in the American public that perhaps they're not being spied upon as much?
Well, first of all, this is still a proposal, so the plan has to go to Congress to be approved. But Obama was really trying to address two concerns, and that was the storage of bulk data, which is the number one thing privacy advocates were saying we needed to end. The government should not have all of this data at their fingertips, but they should have to request it, so they're no longer in possession of all of our data. And then the judicial oversight, again, gives them more, barriers so that they don't just go in and get data that they want or they're requesting without our knowledge.
Sure.
So really there are not a whole lot of things that have changed except the storage of bulk data.
Well, Ray Charles had this old expression, let it do what it do, and I guess that's what's going to happen in this particular case. Dr. Coombs, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, ahead, changing tastes and consumer spending have some global brands saying yummy, and it has nothing to do with food. We'll explain when AriseXchnage returns. Stay with us.
News can definitely be improved when reflecting diversity.
A lot of mainstream news, they don't dive into it.
Who wants to hear about negativity all the time?
They only show what they think people want to know and not what people really should know.
World-based stories. That's what I enjoy the most.
I think diversity of news is important to the world so that everybody will be aware of their surroundings and what is happening today.
Arise News, every culture, every angle.
Now, you're going to love this segment. They are the new IT group for retailers. Yummies, or young urban males, are being targeted by luxury brands who say they hold most of the spending power today. Analysts say before, middle-aged women with sky-high credit limits were the top demographic retailers, but now they say 20-something men with smartphones and spending power have taken over. And here to weigh in, global fashion icon and the House of Faith and Fashion founder and creative director, Toby Rubenstein-Schneier. Welcome to AriseXchnage.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
The first thing I've got to say, I just love this outfit.
Rolando Santana, spring collection right off the runway.
Okay.
I'm also labels oriented.
Well, I'm sure you are, but here's my thing.
Yes.
I don't think yummies are. How are these guys who are basically staying home with their parents, they still have milk on their lips, they're not sophisticated men like me, come on now. Give me a break.
You're right. They are not sophisticated, and I think it's a self-esteem issue. I really do, because if you have to wear all these labels out and compete with your girlfriend on Prada bags, there's really something wrong.
Oh, absolutely. But here's my question. Where are they getting the money from? It took me years to get to where I am now. I like a certain kind of scotch. I drive a certain kind of car. That's, stay thirsty, my friends. There's a ruggedness to this, a lot of testosterone. These young guys don't have it.
You're absolutely right. They're probably still living at home, and they're living, in their room that they came home from college, and they still live there, and they have a disposable income because mommy and daddy pays for everything. So they buy themselves $900 To Me backpacks, and who did they say that the label that's doing the best from this actually is Burberry, is doing phenomenal with this consumer. So, and also Prada. So I think it's just...
Prada?
Prada, yes.
I'm thinking low-ticket items, like maybe Today's Man or something like that in Men's Warehouse.
No. We're talking about real high-end luxury luxury labels.
I want to talk about something else a minute. I don't know if we can put that graphic up of our Arise News characters that, I mean, my goodness sakes. I mean, these guys, you look at these guys, I mean, come on. Who's going to go after these guys? They can't buy anything.
Well, you know, it's not the consumers going after them. It's the consumers are going after the label. They feel that if they wear these labels, and this is their plumage. This is a new peacock. Mm-hmm. It's like the animal kingdom, where the males are the flamboyant ones. Mm-hmm. This is the new version. Okay, I guess This is a new plumage.
Guys like me just don't read anymore, huh?
No, you're a real man. That's the whole. It's the catch-22. Okay. Because really, they think that that's attractive, but to a woman, it's not attractive. They don't want to compete. I don't want to see, matching shoes with my boyfriend. I want to be the one that's got all the good stuff, and he's like, the guy. So it's really, I as a rabbi and you as a minister, this is not what Genesis was talking about. Adam and Eve didn't have matching Prada loafers and Gucci bags.
Absolutely.
This is just not the way it is. So, kill me for saying, the Bible and all that stuff, but no, this doesn't work for me.
No, you're in home in good company.
But if a female becomes more and more dominant in the workforce, and they become, actually stronger, the male, something's going to happen to diminish or feminize.
But we're going to have the guys like the Arise News gang.
Hey, it's like the metrosexuals' children is now the yummies.
Isn't that something? I can't believe it. I'll tell you what. That's boring to me.
Is it boring?
I want to talk about you.
Oh, you do you?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. You were just gorgeous.
Thank you. But aside from being the president and creator of the House of Faith and Fashion, I'm also the EVP of the advisory board of Blast Applications, which is a publicly traded company. The symbol is BLAP, B-L-A-P. And I'm a rabbi, so I'm just, I've broken every glass ceiling possible.
How did you put all this together, especially faith and fashion? I'm really interested in that. What gave you the impetus to create that with that name on it? It's almost like Lord and Taylor.
I know, isn't it?
Yeah.
I should, that's great. I should have my own department store called the House of Faith and Fashion.
Why not?
And you could do the buying for the real man.
I'll do the buying as well as the marketing. How about that?
For the real man.
Absolutely.
That's it.
That's what we're talking about.
Okay. But the House of Faith and Fashion was born out of the fact that, I'm going to say in my previous life, I was a very high-profile rabbi's wife, and I realized very quickly that people were more interested in what I was wearing to synagogue than even if I knew how to pray. And so instead of getting insulted about it, I decided to combine the two of them because you as a minister would appreciate this. The first couture outfit comes straight from the Bible. The high priest's outfit was designed especially from God, from every inch of lace,
Starting
every color.
with Aaron, of course. The Levite?
Yes, his outfit was the most phenomenal. The lace, the colors, the pattern, the jewelry, the undergarments, everything.
And I've got to ask you as a rabbi, how did that take in the industry, when they know who you are? Obviously, it hasn't inhibited you in any way.
No.
Interesting.
Because I don't believe these things are, it's not like they're disconnected. I believe that they are connected. I believe that especially the fashion industry, I mean, most of these fashion designers, how I started interviewing fashion designers, their talent is God-given, and they're very faithful human beings. They don't want to be known as just the outfit of the moment. They want to know that they're a talented person, that they are, God gave them a talent, and they are using their talent. Look, it says God created the world. Creativity is godly.
And you've got a new show on Justin TV. You've got about like 20 seconds left. Tell me about that real quick.
It's a pilot show. It's a show that I produced called the House of Faith and Fashion, which I did produce 12 episodes, and we're getting really, really, really good responses. Where I interview fashion designers about their faith, and we started with Patricia Field, which was uncanny. We talked about Patricia Field about God.
You are my new hero.
Oh, thank you.
Rabbi Toby.
You say it right.
Rubenstein Schneier.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. I hope to come again.
You better.
Okay, I will. I'll bring a different outfit on.
Oh, please.
Okay.
Excite me.
Thank you.
Well, next, the Senegalese marketplace is growing, and we sit down with someone who's leading the charge. You're watching AriseXchnage.
Arise serves underserved communities by bringing them news, information, sports, and entertainment from places that are becoming part of the world economy, that are becoming a part of the world voice, and decisions that are affecting things in the world that people care about. They care about the economy. They care about safety and security. And if you come to Arise and you watch our broadcast, these are the things we're going to bring to you every day, 24 hours a day.
One of the great things about Arise Entertainment 360 is we have this Arise to Your Health segment, which really focuses on the holistic approach of being healthy. So we do everything from working out to juicing to getting in shape by doing fun exercises like bouncing on a trampoline or wearing these bouncy boots on our feet when we're jumping all over the set. We've done karate, we've danced the weight off, we've done just about everything. And of course, I love when we eat on set, but we do it in a very healthy and clean way.
In our corner office today, Senegalese-American businessman and philanthropist Serwin Duke. He's the founder of Afro Marketplace, a Wall Street-based import-export business giving thousands of Senegalese artisans access to the global markets with their handmade products. He is also a full-time professor of economics, finance, and international business at the City University of New York. Welcome to AriseXchnage.
Yeah, thank you.
You are a busy man.
Yeah, that's what everybody says.
Yeah, I've got to talk about redefining oneself. Now, you were in the global markets and banking division at Chase.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you decided to just change things and start this whole business. Where did the epiphany come from? Why did you decide to change?
I think since I was like 6, I remember I always liked to get into entrepreneurship area. So I've been an entrepreneur since I was in elementary school. So being at Chase, a great company, JP Morgan, but I say, you know what, I think I can do something big, you know, and my vision is basically what I can do to benefit Africa. So I'm Senegalese, so basically I start from Senegal, but my vision is to link African businesses to the global market. Because when I started doing business in Africa, we have a lot of obstacles. And I'm focusing on solving some of those problems.
Well, let's talk about it. You know, in fact, we have some, I just love show and tell. And you've got products here. Tell us about the Afro Marketplace. Exactly what are you selling? Obviously, you have some goods here. Tell us about these products that you have here on our desk here.
Basically, these products are made of sweetgrass, and also it's made from where my city, I was born there. I think if I have to benefit anyone, I should start home.
Sure, absolutely.
Yes. So I saw this woman, they were working hard and they couldn't make a living doing this great product. And I say, if you can do this, I think you should be able to have a dream to buy a house, to have a car. So that's how I get involved. So I'm designing a new product and make sure that it can. We put a lot of functionalities because American consumers like this product, and our goal is to go direct, to give it direct to the consumer so that this woman can benefit more from this.
So you're basically providing an opportunity for your countrymen and women also to make money in a much bigger way.
Yes.
What is your marketplace right now? Where can we find these products?
Basically, we have a website called afromarketplace.com and another one called 92 Villages, because the brand is 92 Villages, because these baskets are made in 92 villages only around the world. And my vision is to employ 10,000 women.
Wow.
And you talk about 10,000 families.
Sure.
And I believe it's going to happen. And also we're looking for angel investors, maybe somebody can, because it's a business that you can make money and help people. And
absolutely.
Nothing can be better than that.
We're talking about, and we got about 1 minute left here, the pricing on some of these items, like say this bowl here.
Like this bowl, usually we sell it wholesale, like retail is like around $25.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, and it's handmade, it takes like around a day to be made.
Okay, well this big basket down here, I could probably put a couple of rattlesnakes in or something.
Because it's very hard to ship it, it's around like $145. And also we offer like healthcare benefits to the woman. We're working all that. I'm even trying to put a 401k plan for this woman. So I have to change the game.
Well, I tell you what, I love this stuff. My wife would love some of this stuff here. I mean, she has enough baskets already, but I think she could use one more. Look, we've run out of time. Much success to you on this.
Thank you.
And I hope that you reach the goal, Mr. Duke, of 10,000 women.
Thank you.
That's a lot of women to work for.
I will keep it posted. That's why I see my hair and I lost everything.
Absolutely. Got the shave mine off, too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Next week on AriseXchnage, we'll explore the Hobby Lobby case and its impact on U.S. businesses as the Supreme Court ponders the contraceptive mandate in the Affordable Care Act. Will employers be required to offer plans that cover all federal-approved contraception at no cost? Now for another look at the markets. The Dow closed at 1632, S&P at 1858, and the NASDAQ ending at 4156. Thanks for watching. I'm Julian Phillips in for Andrew Schmertz. Enjoy your weekend.